Hi, I'm Megan Powell of the Essex Bridge Center. This video is the first in a two-part series on how an opponent makes an interference bid naturally after a one-no trump opening. Let's get started. We are talking about some player at the table making a one-no trump opening, and then the very next opponent starts thinking about ways to compete against that strong one-no trump opening hand. There are natural bidding opponent options, and there are conventional bidding opponent options. We are going to address natural opponent options today. And when we do that, what we're talking about really is a simple overcall. And this means that there's a two-level suit bid that the opponent is going to make as an overcall bid after the player on their right-hand opponent, RHO, after the player on their right makes a one-no trump opening bid. That is the simple overcall. So, for example, if the player on your right opens one-no trump and you are the next player to bid, you are the opponent to that one-no trump opener. And let's say that you make, as an opponent, a bid in two hearts. That is a simple overcall in two hearts. However, it's important that when we talk about natural interference, natural bidding after the one-no trump opening, what we're saying is that your two-heart simple overcall really means that you actually have a long heart suit. You actually have the suit you are bidding. Now, it's important to make that distinction because there are conventions, specialty bids that an opponent can make after their right-hand opponent opens one-no trump. You could still bid on the two-level in a suit as an opponent. However, if you're playing with conventions, that two-level suit bid is not a simple overcall. That two-level suit bid won't mean its face value. It won't mean you have hearts. There's a series of bids you can learn that are conventional, that do not mean their face value. So if you were to make a bid of two hearts after your right-hand opponent bids one-no trump, it doesn't mean hearts necessarily. It could mean completely something else. It's an artificial meaning. Now, you might decide you want to learn about those kind of conventions. The most common conventions that are used by opponents after one-no trump openings are called Cappelletti or don't. And there are some others, but most people don't use the others. So Cappelletti and don't are two conventions you can use as an opponent after your right-hand player opens one-no trump. You can learn those on your own if you want, but I'm going to focus on the natural meaning of your bid as an opponent when your RHO opens one-no trump. So now, player on your right opens one-no trump. You're the opponent. You would like to compete in the auction. You don't have a lot of options, honestly, because there's such a strong hand to your right. You have to make a reasonable bid that gets you a reasonable score at the end of the hand. And sometimes that reasonable score will be a negative score. You're trying to work through logic and reason to end up in the best scoring position. Now, some of you have taken scoring lessons with me in the past. And if so, you may remember that sometimes a negative score is a good score for your partnership. All right? You can revisit the scoring lessons at our website, or you can ask me some questions if you have them. But we're going to operate on the premise that sometimes not making the contract is not a terrible thing. You are competing for the best outcome. So if that's true, what competitive natural option does an opponent have if your RHO opens one-no trump? So we're going to talk about two things in this series. First of all, it's important that you understand that the opponent who's going to act is the person in what we call direct position to the one-no trump opener. That means you are in the second bidding seat immediately after the one no trump opener. That's where you operate from as an opponent if you're going to compete. Now, you might make a simple overcall, which is what we'll talk about now, or you might make something called a penalty double, and that's a different lesson. That's the second part to this lesson. So we're going to work on the simple overcall. Again, we're trying to earn the best score possible, competing against a strong no trump hand. If you earn a positive outcome with your simple overcall, you get a positive score. If you're not successful, it's still entirely possible that a small negative score is better than whatever the one no trump opening partnership would have handed you if they are successful, okay? So we're going to look at the simple overcall option in this lesson, and we'll talk about the penalty double in a different lesson. Before we get started, I just want everybody to visualize who's who at the table. It's important. So here is our bridge table with our 4 players. Now, this very good boy is the opener. All right, first bidding seat. Let's say that person opens one no trump. Someone's going to ask me, what if there are 2 passes and somebody opens no trump? Could there still be a simple overcall? Yes, but the likelihood goes down because that means people don't have points to open to begin with. It becomes less likely. The most likely scenario for this simple overcall situation for interference is that the first player in the dealer seat actually does make a one no trump opening bid. Now, when we talk about direct position, this very good girl is the next player to bid. And if a simple overcall is going to take place after a one no trump opener, then it's going to be this very good girl here who does it. Okay? So one no trump opener here. Here is the overcall possibility here. Now that means that this very good boy across from the opener is the responder, and we have to talk about responder's situation because responder is still trying to react to a one no trump opener. And then we have the 4th bidder, the advancer to the simple overcall interference bidder. Well, I will tell you right now that that advancer simply isn't going to have very much to say. All right? So now that we know that all 4 people, let's talk about how this works. The opponent is going to want to make a simple overcall after a one no trump opening in direct position. What does that opponent need? The opponent needs 6 or more cards in a suit. And that suit could be a major suit or a minor suit. That opponent is trying to compete however he or she can with a long suit. It's length that will help because this opponent wants to turn that 6-card suit into a trump suit. For his partnership, there should be length in that suit, 6 or more cards, major or minor. Now, in addition to that, it's not just the length that will help you get a decent score as the opponent. You need at least 2 of the 5 honor cards. So you have to have some strength in this suit as well. And then you need, in the whole hand, opening points or better, 12 or more-ish points. All right? And with those requirements, the opponent will make a 2-level simple overcall. So the opponent now makes a 2-level simple overcall after RHO's opening one no trump bid. So just a couple of thoughts as you're now seeing that now we have a competing interference bid. If you make a simple overcall, you have to remember that the opener's one no trump strength and your opening points or better makes you the 2 players at the table who have decent points. It means that the opener's partner, the responder, and your partner, the advancer, honestly, are not usually going to have a lot of points. And really, this can just become a competition between you and the one no trump opener. It means that you need this length in a suit and high honors to compete. If you and the opener, the one no trump opener, are the only 2 people who have points and can take tricks, don't expect help from your advancing partner. It's unlikely to come. Okay? Now, the opener starts in one no trump, and the opponent in direct position makes a two-level simple overcall. And let's just say that the opponent bids 2 diamonds as a simple overcall, because now the auction continues and we move to the responder, the third bidder. Now, if the opponent had not overcalled, had passed, responders very used to looking for Stamen or Jacoby, or even trying to bid higher and no trump, right? You've learned that. Your partner opens one no trump, the next player the opponent passes, and you as responder look for a 4-card major, a 5-card major, what have you. It's very common. But now, if the opponent does interfere with a 2-level simple overcall suit bid, what does responder do now? Does it change things? And I'm going to remind you that this simple overcall in this lesson, I'm talking about interference by using that simple overcall in the opponent's hand. The opponent is attempting to make life very difficult for responder, and it's going to work. Responder is going to have to think about ways to communicate with the opener other than the usual Stamen or Jacoby scenarios. So, one no trump by the opener. The opponent makes a 2-level simple overcall, and we come to responder, and your choices now, responder, are different. There is no regular Stamen or Jacoby. It's what we call systems off. Responder is going to have to deal with finding a major suit fit with the no trump opening partner in a different way. So let's take the scenarios we're used to for responder, opposite partners, one no trump, a little differently. Here we go. Let's say that your partner opened one no trump and there has been an interference 2-level overcall and you are the responder. You are holding 5 or more cards in a major. There is no Jacoby. There's no Jacoby. Your job is to bid your actual 5-card or longer major suit. Okay? And it's going to be based on your high card point count. With 0 to 9 high card points, bid your 5-card major on the 2-level. Remember, Jacoby can be bid with 0 points, right? Bid your 5-card or longer major on the 2-level, the actual suit. If you have 10 or more game-going high card points, responders, you're going to bid your 5-card major on the 3-level. By responding in a 2-level major suit, you are telling partner that you actually have 5 cards in the suit you're naming. You are not asking partner to bid the next major suit up the bidding ladder. If you respond to your 3-level in your major suit, same thing. You are telling your partner that you have 5 or more cards in that major suit. This is not a transfer. You've had an interference bid by the opponent. If you try to make some kind of weird transfer, this is going to get very ugly very fast. There's no time for your opening partner to try and work through this. So now you're going to bid on the 3-level with 10 or more points, and you're going to bid on the 2-level with 0 to 9 points. And we'll talk about in a couple of minutes how this then plays out. We'll look at examples to see the process. So that's the 5-card or longer major in responder's hand. What if responder has 4 and only 4-card major? Well, there is no Stamen. Instead, responder is going to Q-bid the opponent's overcall suit with specific high card responding points. Now, because there's been an interference bid, you really do have to have points for this, responder. With 0 to 9 high card points, not enough for game, you actually are going to pass. You just don't have enough help to compete, even with your 4-card suit. If you do bid something, you're going to push the opener higher. And you don't have enough points to push the opener higher. You have to remember, your partner has 15, 16, 17 points, and it's not going to get better if she has a balanced hand. She's not going to have suddenly 3 points of distribution. It is responder who carries the load in no trump auctions. So with 0 to 9 points and 4-card major, you cannot help. Pass. But if you have game going, 10 high card points or more, responder, you've got 25. We've got to find a place. You're going to Q bid the opponent's suit on the 3 level. You're going to bid the same suit as the opponent's. And what this does is it stops the opponents from using their own suit again, because you've just bid higher in it. It's going to be very hard for them to even think about bidding it. And it forces your partnership onto the 3 level. This is why you need 10 game-going responding points opposite partners, 15 to 17, because we're either going to end up in 3 no trump or in 4 hearts or 4 spades, depending on whether we have a fit. So now this is what you do with your 4-card major, since you can't do statement. What if you don't have a 5-card major and you don't have a 4-card major? Well, now we're dealing with natural responses to no trump. But you're going to have to remember that if you're thinking about raising higher in no trump, there's a long suit in the opponent's hand with high honors. You, responder, would have to have at least 1 stopper in the opponent's overcall suit to bid higher in no trump. With 0 to 7 high card points, honestly, you can't help anyway. Whether you had a stopper or not, you would pass. Responder, if you have 8 or 9 invitational high card points, opposite partners 15 to 17, you're getting close to 25. That's the invitational level. You could invite him to no trump with a stopper. All right. And if you have 10 or more high card points, you've got 25 points. With a stopper, go ahead and bid 3 no trump. It's not going to happen all the time because the opponent does have points. For a responder to have 10 points, there are a couple of things have to have happened at the table in terms of who has what points. Now, I will illustrate these in examples, and I'll even do a couple of what ifs when we get there. All right, so here's the layout, and this is a chart that you have, right, for the responder reactions. This is the chart I gave you. This is what responder does after the opponent's interference with a natural simple overcall. Now, that's 3 bidders. What about the 4th bidder, the advancer? Well, honestly, the advancer's really not going to have anything to say. There just isn't. I know your partner made an interference overcall, advancer, but by the time we get to your 4th hand, you're not likely to have anything to say. You would just push the auction too high. You're going to pass most of the time. And I'll talk about that again at the end of this lecture. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at 4 hands. And I'm going to talk through the process of the entire bidding. I'll even deal with some what ifs as we go along. Ready? Here we go. Here's the first hand I'd like to look at. If you look in the upper left corner, the dealer is South. Your high card points are here in the lower right-hand corner. South has 15, 16, 17 high card points. This is a balanced hand, right? 4 cards, 3 cards, 3 cards, 3 cards. So South should open 1 no trump. Very reasonable. Now the auction moves clockwise to West. West is holding at least 6 cards in a suit, major or minor. Happens to be the spade suit. Happens to have 7 cards. Great. That's gravy. West would also need to have at least 2 of the 5 honors. Now, West has the ace, the queen, the jack. 3 honors in that long suit. West needs opening points or better. West has 14 high card points. West has what we refer to as an equivalent hand to South's 1 no trump opener. It's not equivalent in points, right? So West can make a simple overcall after South's 1 no trump opening hand to compete. But because West does not have 15, 16, 17 points, West is competing in suit length, turning that spade suit into a potential trump suit for him because he's got length and he's got honors in that suit. He doesn't have to have the same point count as the no trump opener. He should have opening points or better. So if I were West, I would make the competitive natural simple overcall in 2 spades. Now, South has opened 1 no trump with 15 to 17. West is overcalled with at least 12 high card points, right? Out of a 40 high card point deck, that means that South and West have most of the high card points. And what that also means is that North's responding hand and East's advancer hand are often not going to have much at all to say. The auction can very, very, very often end right here. Okay, so let's see what happens on this hand. North, you're the responder to the no trump opener. You're going to try and make some difference in this hand to help the opener, but you are only holding 6 high card points, and you really cannot help. Even if West had not overcalled, without a long major suit, you would pass normally anyway if West had not overcalled. The only way that you bid with 6 points, responder, is if you have a 5 card or longer major for a Jacoby transfer. But Jacoby transfers are not even in play now. Systems are off. You don't have a 5 card or longer major. You don't have length. You don't have enough points to make a responding bid after partner's one no trump opener. You know what? You just don't have anything. North is going to pass as responder. Now we move clockwise again to East, the advancer to West's overcall hand. East does not usually have a bid. Now, you can't help partner in spades. That should not panic you. You should not be thinking about, oh, where else can we go? Because honestly, advancers probably need about 10 to, well, some people play 10. A lot of people play 12 opening points for an advancer to bid anything else. You need to stop bidding if you cannot help the overcaller. If you don't have points to help your partnership, don't bid, advancer. You would need 12 or more advancing points to show anything else. You don't have it. You're going to pass. And now, after East passes, South says, well, I'm the one no trump opener. I've told the table what I have. It has not changed. North's responding hand hasn't done anything to force me to bid again. I'm not going to do anything. And South passes. Now, on this hand, the contract is now 2 spades by West. West's opponent hand took the contract in the overcall suit, 2 spades. Can West take 8 tricks and 2 spades? Well, I know that East only has that singleton spade, right? But West does have real length in that spade suit, has honors in that spade suit. That is why the simple overcall opponent must meet those requirements. You have to have a fighting chance at a good score. And if you look at this deep finesse box down here, it will say, if you look for East and West horizontally, look at West in the spade column, it says you can make 3. And if you look at West's hand, you don't have the king of spades, but if you finesse, if it's possible to finesse, if you can get to East's hand to finesse, or if North and South help you with the finesse, you could take at least 6 spade tricks, if not 7, and you're going to get 3 club tricks. That's going to be 9 tricks. You're not going to do well in hearts or diamonds, but you're going to trump them early anyway. So this 2 spade simple overcall, opposite the one no trump opener, is going to end up as a decent score for the opponents. That's what we're learning to do, compete against opponent bidding, even when it's a strong one no trump opening. Let's look at another. South is our dealer, says so up here. Here are your points. South has 15, 16, 17. This is a balanced hand, 4, 3, 3, 3. Opens one no trump. Now look at West's hand. West has 6 card or longer spade suit, has 6 spades, has at least 2 of the top 5 honors. West has king, queen, which is pretty good. That's 2 of the top 3 honors. That's actually pretty good. Has opening points or better. Now only has 12 points, but that's the threshold. Okay, so that's not unreasonable. If I were West, I would make a simple overcall in 2 spades. You don't have the same high card points as the one no trump opener. You are competing in suit length with honors, turning that spade suit into your trump suit to try and win tricks. So West makes a simple overcall in 2 spades. Now we go to North's responding hand. North is the 3rd bidder, partner to the no trump opener. Now look at North's responding hand. North has 13 responding points, opposite South's 15, 16, 17 high card points. That is a whole lot. That's game going. For North to have so many responding points in this scenario, when West must have some kind of points and length to interfere, it means probably that South's no trump is likely to be right at 15, the bottom of the 15 to 17. And it's likely that West's overcall point count is probably right at the minimum of 12. That's probably what it means, because that's the only way that North is going to have that many points out of a 40 high card point deck. It also means that East probably has nothing. So, North, you've got enough points for game as responder opposite partners 15 to 17. Now, you do not have length in a major suit. You don't have a 4-card major. You don't have a 5-card or longer major. But what you might consider doing is raising in no trump. You need a stopper in West's spade suit. Now, you have the ace, the jack, the 10 North. The ace is absolutely a stopper. You can win the trick when they lead spades, and then the partnership can go about trying to set up tricks in other suits. The jack and the 10 are actually helpful backups. So that may not work out so badly. Now, let me just take a side path here. I want to deal with one of the what ifs. We're already saying that North has a stopper in the opponent's overcall suit. But what if responder did not have a stopper in West's suit? Now we have a question. And I'm going to tell you right now for the first time in this lesson that this is imperfect. When you are competing in bridge, it is an imperfect situation. When you're baby bridge players, we teach you where everything works out beautifully. It's all unicorn and rainbows. But the truth is, there are billions of possible deals in bridge, and a whole lot of them don't work out very smoothly in terms of your thinking process. So what is responder going to do if responder did not have a stopper in West suit, but is still holding 10 or more game-going points? Well, if the responder didn't have as many as 10, if responder had 0 to 9, there are going to be a lot of responders without a stopper in spades who would pass, who would just try and play defense against that spade suit. Yeah, because it's a problem to figure out where to go next without a major suit to help you. Going upward in no trump without being able to stop the spade suit can be disastrous. But if responder is holding at least 10 points for a 25-point game in the North-South partnership and does not have a spade stopper, you still have to bid something, responder. You've got game. You've got to bid something. Must. So what would your options be? Well, in our next lesson, we're going to talk about the penalty double. You could make it what's called a penalty double to say to West, you know what, I'm going to let you play in 2 spades, but I'm doubling you because I don't think you can make it, and I'm hoping to get a much better score because my partner and I have most of the points. Or, and this is what a lot of people will do, and I'll tell you this is what Alan would do, take a deep breath and bid 3 no trump anyway, even without a spade stopper, and you're hoping that South's opening hand has a spade stopper. And if you're wrong, well, you're wrong. It happens. So you're going to have to make that choice, and you're going to ask me which is the better choice. And my answer is, well, which choice do you want to do? Because this is an imperfect situation. This will become trial and error for you, and you will decide where your comfort level is in whatever way you go. Okay? So that's if responder did not have a spade stopper. But the good news is, North's responding hand does have a spade stopper and has 10 or more game-going points. Because of that, thank goodness, without a 5-card major or 4-card major, we're not going to search for a major suit fit. We've got a stopper in the opponent's overcall suit with our game-going points, and North's responding hand should raise to 3 no trump with a reasonable amount of confidence. They have at least 1 stopper in the spade suit, even if South doesn't have anything. Opener has to have some winners. She's got 15 to 17 points. North has 13 points. They've got at least 28 points between them. So what North is hoping as responder is that let's put this back in South's hand. Let her play in 3 no trump. Hopefully she can take 9 winners no trump even though there's a long suit that's going to try and run against us. Okay? And so east will pass, south will pass. West is going to pass. West doesn't bid again. West has already shown that overcall. It didn't change. West is not going to bid again. And south will play in 3-no trump. I'm hoping for the best. And if you look at the outcome here, it'll show you that in theory, north and south can take 10 tricks, making 4. Let's look at our third hand. South is our dealer again. Here are your points. South has 15 to 17 points in a balanced hand, 4, 3, 3, 3. South opens 1-no. Now let's go look at West. West has a 6-card or longer spade suit. Yay. Has at least 2 of the 5 honors. Has king, queen, jack. Has opening high card points or better, 13 high card points. If I were West, I would want to compete. I would make a simple overcall in 2 spades. I know all of these have been spades. That's not really intentional. It could have been any of the suits on the 2 level. Any suit. 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, 2 hearts, 2 spades. All right. Now, north. Let's look at your responding hand. What do you hold? Well, you have a 4-card major. You have the other major, the suit that West is not showing as the overcall suit. And what North is really hoping that because West is so long in spades, well, where are the hearts? West is not going to have a lot of hearts if West has a 6-card or longer spade suit. That means it's really, really possible that North and South have an 8-card heart fit. So maybe South's 1-no trump opening hand has 4 heart cards to go with North's 4 heart cards. Now, there is no Stayman, and we are already at 2 spades at the auction on the bidding ladder. In order for North to get across to South's opening hand that North holds 4 and only 4 cards in a major suit, North is going to have to make a bid that will force the auction to continue going higher. Here's the thing. If North makes a bid and pushes the auction higher, we will already be on the 3 level. Therefore, North must have at least 10 responding game-going points, even to attempt to show the responding 4-card major, because the auction will already end up on the 3 level by doing so. And the outcome from that is that the partnership is going to either end up in 3-no trump or with a fit in 4 hearts. So North, in order to even make this maneuver, to show a 4-card major after interference like this, no matter whether West had bid 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, 2 hearts, or 2 spades as the overcall, wouldn't matter which overcall suit. North must have 10 responding game-going points, high card points, in order to do this thing. Now, there is no regular Stayman. So how does North's responding hand show what's going on? Well, the way that responder shows a 4-card major is to use a Q bid. We're going to Q bid the opponent's overcall suit. Q bid means we bid the same suit as the opponent. We never mean that we have that suit. We never mean that suit. We never bid the opponent's suit and mean it. A Q bid is using the opponent's suit to convey information. In this scenario, what's going to happen is we are going to bid the spade suit now on the 3 level. That's why North needs 10 or more high card points as responder, because before all is said and done, we're either going to be in 3-no trump or 4 hearts, depending on whether or not there's a fit. So North is going to bid the opponent's suit. This is a very helpful tool in bridge. Now, East and West really don't have the ability to keep bidding spades. North has taken that next spade bid away from the opponents, and it conveys information to South. I have the other major, and I have at least 10 high card points. Now, the auction moves to East, the advancer. Oh, East, I'm so sorry for you. You actually have what's called a Yarborough in bridge. You have 0 high card points, and within those 0 points, you don't even have a 10. That's the scenario where we call it a Yarborough. So East, sorry, you can't do anything to help here. Nothing. And then we come to South. And here's one of the most important things South's opening hand must remember. You must bid. You must bid something South. Why? Because your partner in North, the responder, just bid the opponent's suit, spades. North doesn't have spades. That's the long suit in West's hand. North is telling you, South, that she has the other major. So South, you must either bid the implied major suit, which is hearts, if you have 4 cards to go with North's 4 cards, or you're going to bid no trump. Now, here's the good news, South. You have 4 heart cards. You have a fit. Yay. You know North's responding hand has to have at least 10 points, so your job should be to bid 4 hearts right now. That means that South's no trump hand gets to be declared. That's terrific. And this worked because South did have 4 cards when North implied a 4-card responding major. What if South didn't have 4 hearts? What if South only had 2 or 3 cards in the heart suit, no fit with responder? What would South do then? Well, South would place the contract instead in 3 no trump. And I know some of you are already asking this what if. What if South doesn't have a stopper in West's spade suit when she places the contract in 3 no trump? Because when North does the Q bid, North is not promising a stopper as responder. Well, remember how I said this is an imperfect world in which we live in bridge? South, if you don't have a fit with the heart suit, you're still going to bid game. North is promising 10 points. You would bid 3 no trump, and you're going to cross your fingers and hope it works. That's all you can do. All right, let's look at our final example, board 4. South is still our dealer, right? So here are your points, and South has a balanced hand with 15 to 17 points. It's a 4-3-3 shape. South opens 1 no trump. Now the auction goes to West. West has a 6-card or longer suit, happens to be the diamond suit this time. See, it doesn't always have to be spades, right? West has at least 2 of the 5 honors. In fact, West has ace, king, queen, 10, 9, just missing the jack in that sequence. This is a very strong suit for West to use as a simple overcall. It would make a good trump suit for West. West has opening points or better, 13 high card points. West absolutely should compete with this hand, should make a simple overcall into diamonds. Now let's go to North, the responder. North has a 5-card major suit. There is no Jacoby transfer. In fact, in this scenario, West bid diamonds, and with your heart suit, North, that's the suit you would have used for a Jacoby transfer anyway. Except it wouldn't work here, right? But even if West had bid, let's say 2 clubs, you would not be using the Jacoby transfer to show your hearts. We say that systems are off as soon as there's an interference bid on the bidding ladder. There is no consistent way that a responder can show the opener a 5-card major once there's been an overcall by an opponent. And I want you to cue in on that red underlined word, consistent. Would there be times when a Jacoby transfer would work? Because let's say that West overcalled in 2 clubs, and you say, oh, but I could still use 2 diamonds as a Jacoby transfer. Well, possibly, but how would your partner know next time whether you meant that as a Jacoby transfer or whether you meant that you had diamonds? Let me give you a different example. Suppose you open 1 no trump in South and West overcalls 2 diamonds and North's 5-card major is spades and bids 2 hearts as a Jacoby transfer. What if the next time North bids 2 hearts, she doesn't mean it as a transfer, she means hearts? There's no consistent way for a Jacoby transfer to work, regardless of which suit the opponent overcalls. Systems are off, which means you, North, as responder, are going to have a different way of showing your 5-card or longer major to the opener. And the way you do that is to actually bid your 5-card or longer major. If you have 0 to 9 high card points. You can bid it on the 2 level, the actual suit. If you have 10 or more game going responding points, you would bid it on the 3 level. What you're doing is telling the opener you have at least 5 cards in your major and letting the opener decide whether or not we're going to play in no trump or in that major suit. Now, North, you have 9 high card points, invitational, 0 to 9. You're going to bid your heart suit on the 2 level. It shows 5 or more hearts, and it shows 0 to 9 high card points. Now, East has 3 high card points, cannot help as the advancer passes. And now we come to South. First of all, South. Since North has actually bid her real 5-card or longer major, South, you are not required to bid. You're not doing a transfer. North has actually named the suit she wants. You're no longer required to do anything, opener. But you say to yourself, South, I have 3 cards, a fit. Great. I'm going to decide whether we keep going or not. I know we have an 8-card fit. South, you have 15 high card points. There's not even any shortness in your no trump hand, so there's no distribution. And North is promising you somewhere between 0 to 9. Could be 9, could be 0. There is no path to 25 clean points. You're not required to bid, opener, when North has shown you 0 to 9 points. She's made a real bid. She's not forced you to do anything. So, South, you're happy with the heart fit, but there is no point in bidding higher. South passes. West, you do not bid your overcall again. You've done your job already. You've told your partner at least what suit to lead. Leave it alone. Now, in this scenario, who becomes declare? Yeah, it's North's responding hand, but there's nothing you can do about that. That's just the way it's going to work. Now, one more what if before we finish. Ready? What if on this hand, North did not have 5 heart cards, but it actually had 6 or more responding heart cards? Might that change how a responder reacts? Because if a responder has 6 or more cards in the major suit, responder knows the partnership must have an 8-card major suit fit, even if South had only 2 cards in the major suit, a doubleton in the no trump hand. South would be holding 6 cards to get to an 8-card fit. Does that change how responder reacts? Well, first of all, responder could add distribution with a known 8-card fit. And then here are some of the things responder North could think about if she were holding 6 or more cards in that major. If North had 10 or more points with distribution and a known 8-card fit because she has 6 cards, well, she would just go right to 4 hearts. She wouldn't bid 2 hearts. She would go right to 4 hearts. There's a game-going point count, and there's an 8-card fit. Get there. And North would play in 4 hearts. But if North had not the 0 to 9, but specifically the 8 or 9, which is the invitational level opposite a no trump hand, and a known 8-card fit, well, this gets really tricky now. Because if you respond 3 hearts, thinking, well, that's probably going to tell her I have a little more, the problem is it doesn't tell her you have 6 cards. She still doesn't know, the opener still doesn't know that there's a fit. This could get a little dicey. So you're going to have to decide, North, if you have a 6-card or longer suit and have added distribution, and you're nearly to 10, 8 or 9, the invitational. You're just going to have to decide. I would suggest you either bid 2 hearts or 4 hearts. It's really your choice. I would bid 4 hearts. I would just take the chance and go to game. I know we have an 8-card fit. I know we are on just the border of 25. I would probably go to 4 hearts because I like to take my chances. You'll have to decide what you want to do, right? I wish I had a perfect answer for you, but this is an imperfect situation. So, opener bids with 1 no trump. It's 15 to 70 points balanced hand. And we're talking about how an opponent competes with a natural kind of an overcall. I will remind you that this is not something that happens over a 2 no trump opener. Opponents don't even think about interfering with a simple overcall after a 2-no trump opening bid on your right. It's a sure way to get the worst score possible. Minus 1800 as a score at the end of a hand is character building. Do not interfere with a simple overcall after your RHO's 2-no trump opening. This is only for 1-no trump openings on your right. So you, opponent, direct position, the very next player, want to compete, look for a simple overcall, and here's what you need. 6 or more cards, major suit or minor suit, at least 2 of the 5 honors, opening points or better. And one of the things I would tell you to think about is this: the better your honors, the more comfortable you can be about having just 12 high card points. If you have the ace and the king, or the king and the queen, those are good honors. A lot of people are a little skittish about making this overcall with only 12 points. You can, but some people would prefer to have more points. The better your honors actually are in your long suit, ace king or king queen, the closer to 12 you can comfortably be and say, yep, I can compete. If you have only 2 honors and one of them is the 10, I would suggest you don't do it with just 12 points. Your hand may not be strong enough to win enough tricks. A lot of people would rather have closer to 14 points. If you have only 2 honors in your long suit and one of them is the 10, you'll have to decide. Your mileage may vary. You decide. All right. So now we've got an opening 1-no trump bid. The next player, the opponent, makes a simple overcall, and then the responder gets to think. And we've given you a chart about what to do when you have a 5-card major, when you have a 4-card major, when you do not have a major suit responders. You have options. And yes, these are different from what you've originally learned with Stamen or Jacoby, because there is no Stamen or Jacoby as you've learned it. All right. The advancer to the simple overcaller, well, you're just not going to bid. It's just not going to happen, honestly. Is there ever an exception when the advancer might bid? Sure, because there are billions of possible deals. But honestly, that's not where you should put all your thinking. Don't use up mental real estate to think about what ifs for advancer. Just not going to happen, okay? So this topic is hard, and it's very different from what you've learned when it comes to 1-no trump openings and responder bidding specifically, because now we're teaching the opponents what's reasonable to do to interfere. So we're going to work on this some more. You're going to look over your examples, and if you have questions, you're going to ask me. All right? I'll see you soon. Bye now.